This is it, people. This is what you've been waiting for. This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast. The podcast for everyday people with everyday problems, trying to find everyday solutions to accomplish everyday goals. Let's start the show. Welcome to another episode of Everyday Celebrity Podcast, the number one podcast in Oakland, the number one podcast in the Bay Area. And we are back. I know you guys been on my ass on dropping these episodes, but don't blame me. Blame these niggas I'm trying to talk to. And long overdue, we have one of the top party promoters in the Bay Area. He throws one of the best parties in Oakland. Afro Rave. He's also a supermodel. We're going to talk about that. And he has African origins, I believe. So welcome, Asaba, to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Jordan.
You have to bring the mic closer. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, y'all?
How was your day today?
My day is good, man. I got up early, started zhuzhing and cleaning around the house. Literally flipped my bed to the other side of the room and flipped it right back to the original.
Okay.
But it felt good just to kind of zone out. It's really therapeutic for me.
Yeah, a lot of people say when they rearrange their house, they're kind of going through something.
Definitely.
Do you want to expand?
Definitely, man. I think I've been growing as an individual and just doing a lot of self-improvement for myself. And I think as social as I am, I tend to deal with things alone. And so, cleaning and just moving things around or just fiddling with stuff really helps me process things, So I think just like relationships in general, some relationships are physical and some of them, lack just both parties having dialogue. And I think for me, it's usually like me having dialogue in a situation where I don't feel like I'm being heard, And so just processing those conversations.
Are you realizing that what you were into, 3 years ago is not the same type of woman you're into now?
Definitely.
I get that.
Yeah.
Because as I got older,
definitely,
I started to realize I'm not into I'm not into looks anymore. You know what I'm saying? I look at women more as what they got going for themselves now. Because back in the day, I used to be like, oh, is she fine? Because she dress well.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, damn. I mean, she doesn't have any kids. That's good. She has her own car. She doesn't have any drama in her life.
All right.
Now, back in the day, I would deal with that because she was fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand what you're saying. So, the reason why I wanted to get you on this show for a long time, obviously, I see you out and about, moving and grooving, and I respect what you got going on with your parties and shit. And I want to talk about how did it come from an idea to where you're on the fucking TV? People are interviewing you on the news now, so it's kind of a big deal. Do you want to explain the Afro Rave and your other parties you be throwing?
Yeah, but I think there's definitely a huge story behind Afro Rave because with the Afro Rave, we just started that about a year ago, and it's me and my business partner YG, who's also like a brother to me, and we have a team behind that. But I think getting into being a promoter and really just a curator started from growing up in Oakland and running around from east to west to the city. And then I had an opportunity to work with a clothing brand called Suru, I think around 2012.
Yeah, I
don't know if you remember that spot.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that platform, I started off bringing in local artists from where we were using the same concept as First Friday, But
what were you doing for them? Exactly.
So what I was doing for Suru, eventually I came on as a model at first, and then we kind of just grew into this organic relationship, which turned into a partnership. And so I dealt with everything, the storefront, the shop, from merch to rolling out campaigns on social media. I pretty much did the whole social media for like the whole time I was there. And so your typical event or a day at the shop would be, for example, say like a First Friday, I would have, reached out to like some of the people that me and some of the artists that are still roaming around in the streets.
Yeah.
Not roaming, but, just trying to get their voice out there, And I would reach out to them at the time. We didn't really have much funds until we got maybe like the 5th year till we could pay people. But so just going off the strength of relationships, I would reach out to friends that I felt like, needed to be heard and had like a good talent, and we would, organize a lineup and, sometimes have drinks available or wine. And the whole goal was to not only showcase art and, music, but also to sell product, merch. And so just combining that, I think every brick and mortar and pop-up store in downtown Oakland, at least from Temescal to, uptown, downtown, we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I just happened to be more out there in the field and in the streets and at like all the events. And I had, I had made an impact in the subculture that I was evolving. You feel me? So when it came to like, dropping an event on First Friday, okay, these are the people, you know what I'm saying? From working with Thizzler. Like I was working with Thizzler before Thizzler on the Roof was like on the roof. You know what I mean? When I say on the roof,
I don't know what that is.
You know who that is?
No.
Thizzler on the Roof is another big platform that focuses on the rap culture in the Bay Area. So pretty much like any other platform that you look at or podcast, they now have strategically created packages to market artists that are coming out of Oakland, even all the way down to LA. They're pretty much tapped in, just from keeping that momentum. They have like the ciphers, that Fab and all the cats from San Francisco to Stockton to anywhere in the Bay and SAC and all through. So we used to do ciphers, So pretty much like you look at any shop in Oakland, they'll probably just have like one target. But like for me, me knowing people just out in the scene and then also knowing real artists and working with other people, just really like, it brought us a lot of traffic. And so with that traffic, you got the ladies pulling up, you got the fellas pulling up, you got the real people that's coming just to shop, that are actually getting a culture exchange while they're shopping. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to come here for First Friday. You know what I'm saying? And then when they come for First Friday, they see that, oh, this is not just a shopping experience. There's actually emerging talent that's related to Suru. That's, you know what I'm saying? And that shit just went from there to that. And so that's kind of how I really started seeing like, okay, this is something I could really do. And at the time, I had just met a good friend of mine at the New Parkway Theater. At the New Parkway Theater was like how would you describe that spot? It's like a little indie theater.
I would say independent, yeah.
It's an independent theater, nonprofit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit, man. It's a nonprofit because, bro, if you ever go there, they don't have paper towels. You know what I'm saying? They use metal straws and reusable napkins that they wash. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're very conscious like that. And I like that shit. But
you sure it's a nonprofit?
I'm positive it's a nonprofit.
Because them niggas be charging shit.
Them niggas would not pay me for fucking 6 years. That's why I left that motherfucker, It's definitely a nonprofit, but there's ways that they can pay people. So I was doing Suru. I would close the shop, say like on a regular day, like towards the end of the week, towards the end of the month. So I know first Mondays, I got the mic, and then on Friday, I got First Friday at the shop. You know what I mean? And so my open mic went from 20 people to 150 people every first and third Monday. And so it was.
And you were doing that at the New Parkway?
At the New Parkway. Okay. So pretty much if you're not really tapped into the scene downtown, you probably catch me at the Parkway. So anytime I'm doing something, it's getting promoted on my Facebook, my Instagram, and the Suru platform.
Okay.
So it just kept really like a rotation of people that's already tapped in, and all these newcomers that either find out about me from the Facebook shit that we're doing at the Parkway or, the streets or Suru. And so that showed me that there was really like, there was a thirst for that, you know what I mean? And so the Parkway, I wasn't really making money from it, but I loved the community, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just raw. There'll be motherfuckers hitchhiking from fucking Idaho and be like, oh, I stumbled upon this late night open mic. And like, they'll bless Oakland, you know what I'm saying? It's a spot where like you would actually intentionally come to and see all the like, you know, thriving and starving artists that's trying to get out there, you know, because sometimes you might miss somebody, you know, because back in the day, we used to have a little cypher in front of the Fox Theater. You know, you walk by, catch a vibe, but now you can come into a theater and just like randomly, you might see, you know, somebody that's going to be on TV in the next couple of years or somebody that's on tour right now that you used to see back at the Parkway. And so it just really kept me like wanting to keep creating certain events like that. And so, but even at the same time I was doing shit like that, I had the homies that just wanted to kick it, you know? They just wanted to come party, get drunk, get high, whatever. And so, you know, with that, I knew, okay, this is what we're doing, you know what I'm saying, at night, and this is what we're doing at after hours. And so I just kind of kept just connecting, you know, figuring out different spaces, you know. I used to break into rooftops on Telegraph. I don't know if you've been to them joints, you know. There's a couple little rooftops we had. You know, we used to just have like probably like 30 people, you know. BYOB, bring your shit, hop over the gate, unlock it for everybody. Old school shit, bro. You know, on top of the billboard, you know.
So obviously you had to be a people person to do the shit that you're doing.
Absolutely.
How big is how important is connections to you in your field?
To me, man, connections are really important. And I think I'm saying this now, but I've even had it been said to me, you know, everybody has a purpose. Everybody's good for something, you know? And I think so when you're curating, man, it's really about, one, knowing the person that you're working with and seeing where you could place them, you know? And in the beginning, it's not always the best place for them, but it's like, you know what? Hold on to this and let's build it. And, you know, let's circle back in a couple months and then maybe we could, you know, place you at the door, you know, or have you doing this, you know? Because like I've actually had people work with me and they've been like, specifically females, and be like, yo, I don't want to do that shit. And in my mind, I'd be like, fuck, bro, why you just can't do this for right now, you know?
Yeah.
And so that lets me know that maybe this person, they might be overqualified, but they don't really know exactly all the things that we need to do to get this operation going. And so sometimes those people probably stick around for like a couple months.
They want to walk before they crawl.
Right. And so for me, it's like, oh, if you ain't going to do it, well then shit, I'm going to have to not be on stage and go do this since, you know, I can't have somebody to fill this in right now. But really, to go back to your question, man, it's like, everybody's good for something, you know? So I really take pride in making sure like I'm solid with every individual. And it is a lot of work because there's times where like I can't give everybody the ultimate time or the ultimate, you know, response and feedback and love that they want right there and then. You know, whether if it's on the clock or on the project or off the project, just because, you know, I need time for myself as well. You know what I'm saying? Even in those moments, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throwing these events, do you remember the first party you threw? Like first Afro Rave?
You really want to get to this Afro Rave thing, huh? That first Afro Rave, yeah, man. So look, the Afro Rave is
wait. So you remember the first one you threw, right?
I remember, yeah.
How give me one thing that was so stressful about throwing it. Like what hurdle came to you that you didn't know was going to come?
You know, I think, and this is something I'll keep learning, man. The biggest challenge doing the first Afro Rave, bro, was time. You know, when I say time, it's like access. So it's like you think about a production on like a level, say like, you know, was it Coast to Coast or Live Nation type shit, right? So these people, obviously, they got the bread and they got the, you know, they're going to pay OT money to fucking have access for a week to get ready to do their shit. You know, from somebody like myself and my business partner, we don't really have those type of pockets to just be like, yo, I want access for a whole week. And sometimes we do, but still like, we pretty much will start a project when we did Afro Rave. I'm like, okay, I got all my props, you know, I got the homies and the workers that's going to be, you know, putting shit together. But it gets down to like, you know, day 3, say we got 5 days or so. Day 3, you know, we've done the little scattered work. And then, you know, day 2, we're closing in and it's like, damn, okay, think we're going to be good. Then they get to day 1, bro, where it's like, the shit is up, but it's not functional. You know what I'm saying? And so having to like adjust and also make sure like, shit is safety, it's safe. You know what I'm saying? I be hanging stuff like the first Afro Rave, I probably had the most props. I had I had hella props from the fucking mushrooms to the cat. What else? We had the daisies. Got a couple other things, but just making sure like these things are safe. People are gonna be drunk, and so for me, I think that's always the part that I worry about, and also if this, figure or display that I'm putting in, one is being noticed, and when people are, enjoying themselves, they can like move around it,
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's always like a big thing for me, and just making sure that it's stable.
Were you surprised how popular it got so fast? Or do you feel like it got popular because you feel the void that Oakland needed?
I think because we filled the void that Oakland needed, man. I think when me and Juan went into this, it was really like more. It came from just like a deep place of passion, It really wasn't like, I don't think anybody really spends, shit, even over $2,000 on props, We spent a lot of money on props. And so it was really just us creating like the ultimate fucking party that we wanted to go to. You know what I mean? Like you look at, like I work for Salesforce, on and off on the production end, and like these motherfuckers spend like millions and millions of dollars to fucking create their dream convention party, all of that shit, So we kind of looked at it like that, from a grassroots level. And we didn't really. I actually have not been really looking at the numbers. For me, it's just been like, how can I make it more cooler and psychedelic and dope and fun? You know what I'm saying? For like, you look at something that a kid will go play around at Fairyland, but I'm gonna put that shit in the party and add some lights to it. So,
have you thought about expanding to, because you see all these other music festivals like Outside Lands and shit like that. Have you ever thought about expanding to some shit like that?
Yeah, man, I think that's the goal, man. Pretty much just, to me, I think we're getting bigger the more and more we keep, the consistency and just like trying to make shit different. So I think now it's at a point where like, I think people are, checking for us. People are like, starting to give us keys to different places to activate. So I think it's only right that, we're crossing the bridge, and eventually we'll start, working with, so-and-so from Outside Land or so-and-so from that big ass venue,
Your business partner, were you guys friends before?
Yeah, I mean, we've been friends for, I think I met Juan probably like around, it's been over 10 years, man.
So a lot of people who are friends and go into business, you heard the saying, never mix business with like family and shit like that. Do you find any hurdles working with a friend?
Definitely, man. It's a lot of hurdles working with a friend, especially if you guys are both new to business, because I think a lot of times a lot of times in my experience, it's usually like, okay, this person's good at this and this person's good at this, and so by the time like the business side of things come into mind for me, I've been blessed to where I have somebody that, is on top of that, so we're like, we're both creative, but like they're probably more experienced on the business side. But I think figuring out how you both can work together, and a lot of times too, like, for example, like with Suru Days, I didn't really know nothing about contracts and know really where the money was really coming from, because B was sorting that shit out, but I knew that when it came down to a business from the optics, the door got to be open at this time, and this how the store should look before it's closing. You get what I'm saying? So figuring out what you're comfortable with, being okay to step back and have your other partner handle. But I think what comes with conflict is, being able to like circle back and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I want some control in that. And a lot of times those are conversations, me, myself, I don't be knowing how to have, And so depending on how your friend and then quote unquote your business partner is gonna, give you that room to do that shit can make or break a situation,
Yeah. You guys, I mean, I'm assuming you both want to see this thing go the same direction. Like there's not one who wants to, I want to go and do a big, huge festival, or I want to keep it like small and organic. Like, so you guys don't have that conflict. Both of you guys are on the same.
I think, bro, I think really for us, it's like me and Juan we haven't got to this level, you know? Like, I think when Juan was doing this thing with who he was doing it with and me doing my shit, you know, I think we both work, as individuals, we both work in spaces where, like, you know, it's on that level. But us creating something where, like, it's getting traffic, it's catching attention, it's getting momentum. So, like, the end goal, obviously, you know, is to, like, damn, at someday maybe look at offers from these big companies that want to do a buyout. But really, I think for me is to get it up there, you know, but also be able to learn, because, you know, you can sell some shit and then have not learned anything and not have anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen a lot of cats sell they sell your crib and then be like, fuck, I don't know how to.
And a lot of people sell their shit too early.
Exactly.
Because if niggas is knocking on your door, that means you're doing something right. And you should keep growing.
Yeah, but no, I think we both definitely, you know, we're hungry, bro. You know, like, niggas is hungry. And so I think we're in it for the long game, you know?
So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Uganda, man. I was born in Kampala, Uganda. Bwai Sekazo. Yeah, man. I was born in Kazo. Any Ugandan you meet out here, you ask them about Kazo. Bwai said, you know, they know exactly where that's at. And I came out here in 97.
What age were you?
I was 7.
7, okay. Do you remember your African days?
I do, man. I remember my African days, bro, because I think at the age of, I would say like 4, bro. Like, I honestly, at the age of 4, the shit that I was doing, I think kids here don't start doing it until they're like 16. And with a stinking attitude, you know what I'm saying? At 4, like, niggas had to fetch water, you know what I'm saying? Boil it. We had so many, like, you the man of
the house at 4.
We had so many chores to do, man. And, like, you know, I grew up at my auntie's house. And so my auntie's house, like, you know, you might know some of these names, but, like, you know, Najib, Mosif, Faruku, Hamza, Kietu, Babidia, Nakado, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were all in that same compound. We were all cousins. A lot of us, our auntie raised us. Our fathers were gone, you know, trying to get it, or, you know, just figuring it out. So, but we all definitely had responsibilities when it came to it, whether if it was like, you know, just like we didn't, I think when I came to America, bro, I think for probably like the first couple months, they started like bathing me and giving me showers, which was kind of weird because they were trying to be like, you're the baby. And I'm like, bro, I've been fucking taking showers out of a bucket back home. So it just show you, like, I kind of also, in a way, I think my father and my stepmom, you know, they missed that. But I was like, yo, I've already passed this. You know what I'm saying? I actually came, when I got here, they put me back into the first grade, but I was already in P1, you know what I'm saying, in Uganda, which is primary first grade. So
but your father was there in Africa, right?
My
in
father
the
was not there. My father, I didn't meet my father till I got here. Bro, it was so normal for my dad not to be there. I just knew stories of my dad. You know, for example, like, I think all my cousins knew that I guess I was more, in a way, I was looked out for better because my father was in the military, and then, you know, he started hustling and doing, what is it, like, we call it safari, where you go and get goods and then bring them back and flip them. You know what I mean? My dad's always been a flipper since Africa till here. So, but as a child, bro, we used to chase the airplanes in the compound. They're like, oh, that's your dad, Mo. You know, like, we was them kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly didn't know what my dad looked like.
So your dad was in America before you even got here?
My dad left Africa, I want to say like around probably 91, bro.
91, okay.
You know, and I think that could probably be another story, but my father was part of Idi Amin's regime, you know, so at that time, I think...
That's crazy. My dad was too.
Oh, for real?
He named my brother after Idi Amin.
That's crazy. Yeah, bro. So my father was gone because at that time, bro, and as I've gotten older, he's told me so much more detail and stories about the shit, but like, he had to dip, you know, because in Africa, it's like, okay, this is who's in power now. So any soldier, and you know how it is back home, it's like, obviously, when like when someone else is coming into power, when it's like wartime, you know, they obviously, you take off their uniform, but it's like they looking for y'all.
Yeah.
And so it comes down to this person look like that's an op. You know what I'm saying? How do I look like an op if I don't got the gear on? So it's like he was really running for his life, you know? So it really made sense for him to get up out of there. And he was lucky enough to get up out of there, you know? And it took him like hella years to even try to just touch soil back, you know?
You have siblings?
I do, man. It's funny I'm having this podcast with you because my sister just came back in town. She's been gone for like 5 years. So me and my brother and my sister, we had dinner last night, man.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really special because we all got kids, you know, and our parents aren't here. They're actually back home. So for us to really put together a gathering for us, this is the first time I've taken it serious. My sister's taking it serious. My brother's taking it serious as far as like us as siblings, like linking up, you know what I'm saying? And like trying to figure out a plan for our parents.
Does everyone have the same parents?
My brother and sister, they have different mom, same mom, but different from, you know.
Okay.
I have a different mother as well.
Which, so did you guys grow up together?
Yeah, man, we did. We grew up together. So me, my brother, my sister, we came here together, like fresh, bro. But yeah, we grew up together. So I was the youngest. My sister is 45 and my brother is 42. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm 34, so we all grew up together in the same compound. But, you know, in Africa, it's like some of us went to boarding school, you know? And some of us went to like just regular school, come back home every day. So my brother was gone, I think, for a little bit. So was my sister. So I really grew up with like my age group of like, I think between 3 and probably 8. You know what I'm saying? I'm somewhere in the middle.
Now explain to me and the people that that process of you coming out here from Africa.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I'm talking about like the culture shock. I mean, you just said you were taking showers in with a bucket, right?
Benson,
and fucking
yeah.
I remember when
you know
I remember when I was in school, right? Elementary school.
Yeah.
Because being dark skinned wasn't in back then.
Oh, bro.
When I was growing, used to get teased and shit. And I had an African name, so I really got teased. So, but it taught me to how to defend myself. Niggas try to crack jokes on me now. Absolutely. I'm like a professional at that. So I mean, growing up, it wasn't like today where like, oh, I'm depressed. You had to hold your own, right? So explain to me, how was it like for you growing up from. Or that changed. What changed?
You know, man, growing up, so when I got here, bro, I went to Sequoia Elementary School. And what you don't know, bro, it's a lot of niggas, it's a lot of homies we know that went to Sequoia Elementary, you know? And so when I got to Sequoia Elementary, I remember the first day of school, bro, like yesterday, like, I'm coming from an African family, so all these kids is getting dropped off. We had early bird, late birds, and I think I was an early bird, bro. I never really got to I never really got to check out that lifestyle of a late bird. But I'll get to school at like 8, I think, or 8:30. And you know, even just the whole drop-off exchange, like kids getting kisses and like, you know, some of the kids were better off. They coming through in like Jaguars and just all these nice things, you know? And for me it was different, you know, so getting into the whole like circle of friends at school, man, I was really good at basketball. I feel like I had a funny ass run. Like I had the ugliest run in elementary. Like I'll run, my legs would be flopping everywhere. But a lot of cats started to like, for some reason I was a magnet. And I think it's because I was probably one of the only African kids in school, bro. You know, now when I think back, everybody called me Asaba M. To where I thought that's what my name was. My name was Asaba. But you know, the Americans kid could not say, they could not say that shit, bro. And so, you know, so me being good in basketball, and I think I didn't really let all the bad talk get to me so much, man. I was really, really hyper as a kid. So everybody used to approach me like this. What's up, baby? You want to play some basketball? Or like they used to make a joke towards me, you know what I'm saying? That was like a saying. when they see me.
Mm.
And, you know, I got used to that. But yeah, man, there was a couple niggas that really like cornered me out and made sure like you know, the African booty scratcher, that was bruh. I think, man, it was crazy.
Too.
It was that, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the one that stuck the most.
Where were you when your family migrated? Where did you guys go to?
We went to Oakland, man, Diamond.
Oh, you came to Oakland.
We came to Oakland, bro, straight to Oakland.
Why Oakland?
I think my father, man, was already out here, so he kind of had, you know, figured a couple things out and was hustling. I think he was doing car wash, Jack in the Box, and just, you know, figuring it out, man. And so by the time we got out here, he made sure we had something cool, man. And honestly, it was till this day, my father owns that property, so it was a blessing to just have that home there, bro, because that's pretty much like East Oakland, Diamond Park, Laguna, you know, Coolidge, Bret Hart, like that's all I knew.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's I wouldn't say weird, but it's uncommon for to hear a family migrated from Africa to California.
Yeah.
They usually go to like East Coast places.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know what it was, man, like, so, and this is why it goes back to our first thing we was talking about, man, like, you know, friends and relationships. So my father had a couple other brothers that he knew back home in Uganda, and they were all boxers. I think my dad was the only one that was in the military. And so when he came up here, you know, they kind of helped him get on his feet, you know, but like, I think like me and you both know, man, like for people, for foreigners and immigrants, man, like we know how to do a lot with little. You know what I'm saying? Did I say that right? We know how to do a lot with less. So, you know, for him, like he was really, man, you know, I think at that time, bro, you're making a few bucks an hour and just being able to save and, you know, and send money back home and be able to like get the apartment, you know? And with that apartment that we got, really, bro, my pops was able to, he was just a great tenant. The people that owned the apartment, they eventually passed on and they couldn't look at anybody else but my family to take ownership and to buy that crib. You know what I'm saying? Because there was just some great people, clean, all the shit. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how we got blessed with that.
Was there any animosity? Because you said you didn't meet your dad till you moved here. Did you feel any animosity? Like, why did you leave us in Africa? Blah blah blah. Or were you just happy that he was back in your life?
Man, you know, I can't speak for every African kid, but I think we're not really raised like that, you know? So I didn't even really have my mom when I was in Africa. My mom was also she used to, you know, hop in and out. And for me, like, I looked at my father as like a legend, you know? So, and I just somehow understood that there was some type of plan and mission in place, you know? So he was, like I said, he was always providing from far away. So when I got to meet him, man, it kind of sucked because I think as much as I wanted to be that little boy, I was already 7. I had kind of, you know, just seen a lot more than like how he wanted to receive me as a 3-year-old. I was 7 and you know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, I didn't really have any animosity, man. I missed him, but you know, like also with African culture, there's not really like how I raised my daughter is not how my daddy raised me. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, oh man, so you know, did you miss me? Nah, we never even talked about that. He just like, I sent the money. If your auntie didn't put you in school to buy you clothes, well, shit, you'll never know, you know.
Why do you think African parents? I mean, you experience both cultures.
Right.
Like you are from Africa, you have African parents, and you've also spent a majority of your time in America, and you also have a kid.
Right.
So you can speak on both ways. Why do you think African parents? Because my dad, there was no hugging. There was no "I love you."
None of that.
I don't even think I ever hugged my dad in my whole life.
Bruh.
He never said "I love you" to me. I never said "I love you" to him in my whole life. Can you imagine?
Trust me, bro.
And when I tell people this, they're like, damn, that's crazy. Why aren't you fucked? You need to go to therapy. I'm like, no. But when you speak to other Africans, they're like, yeah, that's fucking normal how African parents are. So why do you think African parents are like that?
I mean, I'm going to try my best to answer this question. So I think I look at it like this, bro. So like, I wouldn't have felt all these other weird ass emotions, bro, if I didn't go to elementary school and see how these other kids was getting dropped off to school. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I wasn't getting no kisses. I wasn't getting no like nice stacked ass lunch for lunch. You know what I'm saying? It was like, Mama, you're going to school. Yeah, your brother will walk you, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So like even the first day, I had somebody try to kiss me to put me to bed. That shit was weird. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just not how. That was just wasn't how I was raised. You know.
Yeah.
So and I think. So and I point that out because that was me getting exposed to a whole nother system. So it doesn't go to say that if I was only raised in Africa, I wouldn't have felt like my father loved me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think my father would just be sending money back home. He could have been out here just being a womanizer and just keeping his bread. Yeah. So for me, like, it
could have been in a hate with the hippies, fucking everybody.
Right, you know? So he loved me, but it's like, I think being exposed to, you know, this other world and how emotion and affection and all that is expressed, I think that definitely, as any individual, like you're gonna want to see what that's like. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then that's gonna make you question the system that's been put in place for you with your folks. You know?
Yeah.
And so I think we kind of just went with it. But like, you know, when it comes to love and emotion, I've also, as a young man, had to like. I think my dad has as much trouble as I put him through. You know, he's cried and had to tell me that. And in return, I've also like felt that shit in my heart and, you know what I'm saying, cried and like was able to hug it out. But it wasn't too much of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It wasn't too much of that. Even with my mom, I think, you know, my biological mother talks to me and she had talked to me with words that I know she cares about me. And it's never really like that huggy, you know what I'm saying? But as a man now, I appreciate it because sometimes you can also just you could kind of get carried away with just like the physicalness of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I believe in the love that my parents have for me more than like them needing to show that physically. You know,
what type of parent are you?
I'm a fun dad, man. I'm a fun dad, but I think what I've realized, you know, with my 4-year-old, it's not just about adventures and showing them things. It's also about like applying systems, you know? So for example, like my father never really raised us, bro. He just provided for us. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
bro, like my dad, you know, not to put his shit out there. I have a little sister that's 4. And you feel me? I've taken my little sister out on adventures, not to say that my dad doesn't, but I've done so many things for my little sister that the time she's been with me that my dad did for me when I was here. You feel what I'm saying?
Your dad is still out here
my dad has another wife.
God damn.
My dad has another wife. But
the African sperm, I'll be trying to tell these girls. That shit laugh.
You know, so I think for me, honestly, man, like I love spending downtime with my kids, you know? And I'm really eager to learn more how I can be a better father academically to my kids, you know?
Mm.
Like all the fun shit, like I'm really good at that, but also like, you know, what can I teach them that they're going to take with them, you know, into their life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, one kid?
I have 2 daughters.
2 daughters?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did, after, when you were in high school, after you graduated, where did your life take you?
Bro, when I graduated, so I graduated from Newark Memorial. So I went to Sequoia Elementary, boom. From Sequoia Elementary, I go to a charter school. This around the time where like, you know, niggas was going to independent study school. You got the shit at Eastmont Mall.
Job Corps,
all of that. So I did a charter school that was heavily influenced. It was a Muslim school, really. And then it kind of went like that. But then that school kind of had too much freedom. I started getting caught up, you know. And then eventually, man, my folks was like, yo, we're going to have to get him out of Oakland. So they ended up sending me to high school in Newark. But they didn't know Newark.
Jersey?
No, Newark and Fremont.
Okay.
Newark and Fremont. And so, but you know how it is, man. When you young and bad, you always find a way. You know what I'm saying? So like me going to school in Fremont, a nigga had to figure out how to get there. So I'm taking BART. Then it went from taking BART to getting the car. And then me getting the car, it was like, you know, that brought a whole nother, you know what I'm saying?
The nigga with a car in high school.
Oh, bro, it's problems, you know?
It's like Drake.
Exactly. It was too much freedom. So high school, man, what saved me in high school was my counselor because she reached out to me, bro, and she was like, "Yo, I have I think, an opportunity, a proposition for you, whatever type shit, right?" At the time, man, I was like dealing with some heavy shit with me and my dad. I was getting into trouble, and so she was like, "Yo, I got this college I went to. It's an all-black school. You know, it's out the way." And I wasn't honestly thinking about college, you know? I was just I was really getting into the young man that I was becoming, you know? Just being out in the streets, riding on foes and this and that. So for me, I was just like, okay. But I knew every time I'm outside and I go back home, they need to know, like, what's your next move. So
were you like a conscious gangster?
Definitely. I was a conscious gangster, and I think I wasn't too deep, but I was also very exposed. So like me not being too deep, basically, like I wasn't just off the chain, just, you know, doing this and that.
You was doing bad shit, but you knew your limit.
I was doing bad shit, I knew my limit, but off of the bad shit that I was doing, one, karma always existed, and now niggas knew me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like shit started to follow me and come back to me to where like it got to my house, you know? But so yeah, man, my counselor was like, "Yo, I want you to go to the school." She basically was like, "Yo, I'm gonna set up a program for you." And so at that time, remember doing the graduation shit, the walk, she comes to me, she hands me a folder, and yeah, man. So I look at the folder a couple of days later, and at the time, I got people in my ear about this modeling shit. And so damn near like the next week, my dad is like, "Yo, either you go to college or you get out." You know?
What's the school?
The school was University of Arkansas.
Oh, okay, damn.
In Pine Bluff, though. In Pine Bluff, not the big, Fayetteville, not the big joint. Nah, not the big joint. This was down in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, man. Like 30 minutes from Little Rock. You know, it was actually a couple. I would say like maybe a handful of Bay niggas that went there. You know what I'm saying? From all the way from East Oakland to Richmond. So, yeah, man, I ended up getting accepted to that college, bro. And I think that definitely saved me a lot from just this, you know, the Oakland streets, being able to like go to the South and see something different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you see?
I mean, it was the same shit, you know, but at least like it was new, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't honestly really focused on school. I think I was more focused on just like socializing and meeting friends and, you know, what they call that shit down there. Not pep rally, but, you know, all these little Southern things, you know.
Did you like it out there?
I loved it out there, man. I actually really enjoy myself in the South, man.
Did you experience any racism?
I did. I did.
On campus?
Not at an all black school, but definitely on the outskirts.
Oh,
of
this
campus.
is an all black school.
This is an all black school.
Oh, shit,
yeah.
okay.
So, you know, you had like, Memphis, Chicago, St. Louis, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Louisiana, all those castles down there. So it was a good time, you know, for a college experience, you know.
What were you studying there?
Bro, when I went to college, my first I was going for English, bro. So what people don't know, I was actually really good in English when I was in school. Even, man, when I got sent back to Africa, like my English was great, you know.
You didn't know English when you migrated here first, right?
I did, man. We were speaking English. So Uganda was colonized by the Brits. So like I honestly feel like our English is the best. You know what I'm saying? Our English, we speak good English, bro. Yeah. But
you speak French?
I don't speak French. I speak Luganda.
Okay.
So I was going for English, bro. And I think, what is it, registration day or whatever. I meet this professor. He's like, bro, why the fuck you want to do English, bro? You gonna be like me. He basically changed my mind. So I went with IT. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was smart.
Yeah, industrial tech. But I didn't really get too far in college, man. I think I had a lot of growing up to do. So
did you finish?
I didn't finish, man. I spent like probably 2 years, 2 years down there. And then, you know, was on the next thing smoking down here.
You got homesick?
Bro, a lot of things happened, man. I got kicked out of school, you know. Then I had a baby on the way. So I think I came back home in shame, bro. I didn't really know. I didn't feel like I fit anywhere. Cause, you know, when I went to school, my parents were like so happy, bro. Yeah. So joyful, like, damn, this boy Mo made it, you know? And so letting them down really kind of just had me all messed up. And then, you know, my first daughter was, around the corner at that time. So, yeah, bro, I just came back and kind of just got back to it, started working, figuring it out. Yeah.
So you come back here. When did the modeling and all that start?
So, man, funny story, bro. With the modeling shit, the modeling thing, it really got serious. So I had gotten in some trouble my senior year, and I was in a meeting. My father was behind me. I was talking to my probation officer. Probation officer was like,
and you was on probation?
Bro, I was on probation. I was at WIDA, all types of shit. So my probation officer was like, hey, man. He's like, bro, I'm not trying to sound gay or nothing, but yo, you should model. Mind you, at the time, bro, I'm like, black red jabos. I don't hear that. You know what I'm saying? I think the only model I knew at the time was my sister. She had tried that shit out for like a quick second,
Yeah.
And so at the time I'm like, huh? But yo, he kind of planted a seed in me. So he was like, bro, we're gonna get through this probation shit, and I want you to come see me. And at the time, I forgot this brother's name, but it was a white dude. He was like, me and my wife were signed to Stars Management, this and that. And so to me, it was just noise. And I was like, bro, I got bigger shit to worry about. And so I think I didn't really tap in. I think I didn't really tap in. I think this was like probably towards like mid or beginning of the year. So it wasn't towards the end of the year. I started like circulating myself up here in the city on Gary Street. That's where all the agencies were at. And so at the time, bro, I'm going into these model open calls with like a zip in my pocket, just straight East Oakland nigga. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't have any blueprint or know anything about anything, you know? And so I'm going there, and the feedback that I'm getting from the agents is like, well, there's potential, but come back like this. We want to see you, we want to see, and this, what they're telling me is what I tell everybody now that be trying to get into this game. Like, we want to see different sides of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know how to wear anything skinny or anything tight to my body. I'm just wearing what the fuck I wear when I'm out, doing my thing. So, bro, I went to every fucking agency. You know what I'm saying? It was like, cool, but come back. And so I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing this shit. And so, but I didn't give up. And so, right before I was getting when I applied for college, bro, I get an offer from Ford Models. And the brother that gave me the offer used to work at Levi's, and I know this because after I worked in the SF market, I started seeing him a lot. But they offered me representation, bro, and that same week I get accepted to college. So obviously I go with college. So when I get to college too, a lot of like the Black Student Union was trying to get me into all the like fashion shows, and I just wasn't into it, But I met a girl down there from St. Louis that was signed to Ford Models, and she was doing numbers, bro. And I was like, okay. So when I came back from college, I kind of pursued that more. But at the time, bro, I did all the amateur shit in Oakland, like all the amateur shit, the model mayhem, the random motherfuckers you meet on MySpace and all this shit, and the weirdos and all the fucking uncomfortable shows that I didn't even know I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I did all that shit, bro. And then I went to Phoenix. So I moved to Phoenix for a little period of time with my daughter and her mom. And I met this Filipino dude that was he was big in like the porno scene in fucking the Philippines. But he was a shooter, bro. He knew how to take good photos. He took some photos of me, bro. I'll never forget this because at the time, me and my baby mama was really like, just in a bad space. But me and him was cooking. Like, he was like, yo, we need to do this shit. And he took some photos of me, bro. And as soon as I came back to the town, I ran with those photos to San Francisco. And so, mind you, I had already been doing laps around all these agencies, bro, from JE to freaking Look to all of them. It's like when you drop off a resume to apply for a job, they're like, okay. So I took these photos, bro. I remember dropping them off, and they're like, wait, hold on, wait right here. And that was the beginning of like, my first contract. And even then I sat on that contract for a minute because at the time everybody was like, yo, Ford are the big guys. Because mind you, I didn't sign the contract because I went to school and came back. So that opportunity wasn't there. I signed a Look, man, and kind of got in there. my first job was a Burger King job. You know, it's like a $3,000 job to just like act like I'm eating a burger, drinking a smoothie.
Yeah.
And so that shit hit different, you know? I was like, this is something, but I still didn't really know, bro. I still didn't really know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the etiquette. I didn't know what I shouldn't do, how I should pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still didn't know nothing. So like, it was a lot of things that came with even just being a model. And also not being a model, but also being like, you know, a real boy, you know what I'm saying, that's doing shit to going to this. That also, I think that was the biggest part for me. You know,
did you have a mentor who was teaching you stuff along the way, or did you just trial and error?
There was no mentor, man. It was trial and error, and I think, bro, it was so much trial and error. I'll tell you this, like, it was a lot of people I came across, and this is why, man, I got 2 daughters, and it's like, bro, it's a lot of cats I came across that I was thinking were trying to, like, you know, show me or elevate my game or elevate, you know, me as a model taking photos, and shit was weird. You know what I'm saying? Like the approach, and then like, you know, getting there and seeing that this person is on a whole different agenda, but this is like how this is the icebreaker for them to get to you. You know what I'm saying? You not knowing, you showing up to do this. And so I think I picked up on that quick. You know what I'm saying? I picked up on that quick just because being out here and seeing how movements change. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a time in Oakland where like it wasn't. I don't know the right word to use, but there was a time in Oakland, bruh, where it wasn't just full of rainbows. You know what I mean? And so I think that also transpired when it came to like somebody like myself getting into the modeling scene. You know, because a lot of straight people, you know, encounter predators. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I went through a lot of that shit, and I had to really like, you know, keep my radar out for those situations. So I think that was probably the biggest challenge as a model, you know, as a male model. I'm sure it happens to women too, you know.
Did it well, yeah. Definitely happens to them.
Yeah.
Did it discourage you in any way? To give up modeling?
Bro, it definitely in a way it kind of did, man. And I think in a way it kind of did, but it showed me that you really have to make sure, man, like you have a voice in any situation that you're in, you know? Because like in those circumstances, whether if it's on contract or not, a motherfucker try to like do a number on you, like physically, right? Especially if you don't know what the fuck's going on. And they'll be like, well, shit, you was here. You know what I'm saying? You walked in the room, like, you know, you took your shirt off type shit.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it really kind of, it put up a wall, you know? It put up a wall with me and like other friends or other people that if I sensed like this person was kind of too friendly with me, like I would either honestly like not be as friendly as people know me as. You know what I'm saying? I just probably wouldn't fuck with that person because of that. And they probably was good people, but it's just due to like what had happened to me before or somebody trying to do some shit to me, I just stopped fucking with certain individuals, you know? But I have friends on both ends, you know? And so, yeah, man.
Now, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but I mean, when you look at today's fashion, right? A lot of black men are getting feminized.
Yeah.
Like you'll see real masculine black men, like Russell Westbrook. You'll see him on the cover of a magazine in a dress.
But I think I get the image.
Young Thug.
Yeah.
In a dress. So there's a lot of big, tough black men. But then when they go to these photo shoots and these Vogue and I don't know all the other fashion magazines, but you know what I'm talking about. When they go to these big photo shoots, the people who are in charge of clothing, right, in charge of the look that they're going for, they put them in like feminine clothing. They put them in dresses sometimes, and then when a lot of people feel like white America, because that's obviously who runs that industry, are feminizing black men. And it's just another tactic to, you know, what to make black women look at black men like, why is this nigga in a dress? Like, I need protection and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I need the masculine man back.
Yeah.
So I say that to ask this question. Do you think that's a problem, or do you think it's just fashion?
I think it's both, you know? I think it's both. For example, lately I've been I randomly just been following Young Jeezy's stylist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I think the stylist is dope, but I feel like for the weight that Young Jeezy has and influence that he has, I don't think honestly that's the right stylist for that nigga. For me, I just feel like he's not putting the right shit on him. But you know, let Young Jeezy tell it, he the flyest nigga out and he paying for a stylist, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think for some men, like, you know, they will feel like, well, I'm at a point or I'm a model, I'm gonna just put this shit on and I'm fashion, you know what I'm saying? And so they're almost like willingly putting themselves there, but they don't really know what they're doing. They're letting other people tell them like, yo, you doing the shit. You know what I'm saying? And there's men that are just comfortably, you know, whether if, you know, to whatever their sexual preference is, they don't, you know, what's the word? They're gender neutral when they wear clothes. You feel me? So I think, and sometimes like I rather someone to like intentionally like, you know, you can wear some designer shit that's a skirt and not know the origin of it, but you know, hey, bro, you know you're wearing a skirt, right? You know what I'm saying? Like some cats might just put that on or have somebody have them wear that.
Yeah.
For them to feel like, you know, and I don't feel like these people with money care too much about status, but like their stylist is like, you know what I mean? So some people don't really, I guess, have control when it comes to that or per se or looking at it that way. Cause that other person you're hiring to put clothes on you is just putting this shit on you where it's like, bro, you a gangster rapper, you know what I'm saying? And like some of this shit, it's a little, bro, it could be different in my opinion, you know? So I think I would say both, bro. I would say both, but I think also the good thing with that though is created a way for people to express themselves in the way that they want to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think for the women that's like tripping off for a guy wearing something that they normally, you know, weren't wearing 10 years ago, they just gotta look somewhere else. You know?
Do you feel like you are in the wrong city to accomplish your goals? Meaning like you're a model, you do this club promotion. Do you feel like you would be better in LA or New York or something like that? Because the Bay Area, I feel like the Bay Area has its limits on where you can go.
Yeah, man, it does. I think I do feel like that, man. But I think also at the same time, man, some of this shit it'd be a timing thing, you know? Like, and that's why for me nowadays I try to tell people, bro, like, you know, we all look young and we try to create all these things out of love and passion, but just remember that anyone that's working with me, if I'm working with you, bro, it's by choice. So it's like, I bring that story up because there's been a lot of opportunities I've had, and some of them I couldn't leave the country or leave the state due to legal problems, but other opportunities was because, you know, I was being loyal to some that I was working with or a project or a business that I was a part of, you know what I mean? And I didn't really hop on that train. And of course, other opportunities come along, but, you know, so when it comes to where I'm at as an artist and as a model, I feel like definitely, you know, I see myself in like, you know, being in Los Angeles and New York, especially like to where I'm at now. But I've also, you know, I've hung in there to where like, I'm a lot of times doing better than a lot of my friends that are in New York or LA, you know, like I have stability and I pretty much like, you know, I book like 75% of my job, you know what I'm saying, in SF. So I'm not really hurting like that. You know, there's dry moments for sure, but I also know how it is being in New York and being in LA and, you know, trying to be back and forth. So I've never had the luxury to really like just stay in New York for long periods of times or Los Angeles as well. But I also know it's another hustle. You feel me? So I've just been blessed to like really know how to network well to where like, you know, I can make decent money just working in SF. And that's without all this party shit. You feel me?
So this is your full-time.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And I can say that, bro, now it is my full-time, bro. Cause I haven't like I work in the union. You know what I'm saying? I haven't worked in the union in like really 2 years. I probably worked like a few days in 2023. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of, you know, get some extra cash. But it is my full time, and I think and there's levels, you know, like there's girls that bring in like 20, 30, 40K a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like due to the expenses that I have in my life, you know, I'm definitely above survival mode when it comes to like what I'm earning as a model, you know? Yeah.
So tell the people what you have working on. Are you working on anything right now? Like, is there any parties coming up?
Yeah, man, we have. So just so everybody knows, man, Afro Rave happens every first Saturday. It's at the New Parish. So what is that? The next first Saturday, that would be May. I
have no idea.
I don't know, but yeah. You know what I'm saying? Follow the page, man, Afrobeats Oakland. And then we have a lot of different groups and collectives that have been reaching out to us, man. So we're going to be definitely doing the Oakland Museum again. Definitely make sure you make it to our annual festival, Afrobeats at the Lake. That's going to be August 24th. The day before that, we're going to take over the Oakland Museum. So we're pretty much going to shut down the whole city towards the end of August, man. You definitely want to fly in if you're not in town. And then we got a couple other dates coming up in the city. I believe we're doing an after party for Outside Lands. That's going to be a big one. And then, yeah, man, me and Juan are working on just creating more intimate, you know, situations for music lovers as far as jazz and Afro beats. So that we'll activate that within the next month. Definitely like more smaller venues, you know, you can come and chill and take a girl on a date or some shit like that and just be in the background where it's not so much dancing, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, that's pretty much it as far as Afrobeats Oakland. For myself, I'm looking for artists, man, but I'm not just looking for anybody. I think I'm looking for live music events to go to myself to obviously source selected groups to perform at, you know, this next project that I'm working on. So kind of like all the things we used to do with, you know, Starline, late night open mic, shit like that. I definitely want to get back into that side, man.
Okay.
So I feel like we haven't got enough places where you could catch live music, you know? So that's happening. That's in the works. And then I'm getting back into my vintage collection. So I've been looking at a few spots in Oakland and in the city to start doing more curated pop-ups. You can definitely catch me at, Alameda Antiques every now and then. Oakland Vintage Market.
Vintage clothing?
Vintage clothing, man. And then some what I'm doing right now is I'm getting either, you know, denim jackets or just jeans and kind of taking them into a specific fit, you know? So not everything is going to be 32. It might even be 34, but just adding a little bit of customization to them and just, you know, putting them on display for sale. I feel like it's not enough of that. You obviously got to go through the bins and get a pair of jeans and do this and that. But if you can get it to where somebody, you know, put a little magic to it. So that's kind of what I'm working on. I enjoy that shit, man, you know?
Yeah, it's very popular, especially out here. Vintage shit.
Yeah, man. So
some of the vintage shit costs more than the new shit.
Yeah, bro.
Which is crazy.
I mean, yeah, some
used clothes cost more than the new clothes.
Some people really are upselling shit crazy, bro. But I'm not doing that, man. I think I'm keeping. If you come and spend $100 with me, man, you will be satisfied. You know, you might even get you a 2-piece.
You should be like a used Carhartt jacket supplier.
I was doing that, bro, and I ran out.
I'm not talking about nothing but Carhartts.
Bruh.
Jackets, the vest, all that shit.
Yeah.
That shit'll fly off the table.
It will, man. Carhartts is going crazy right now. Crazy.
I feel like I brought that to Oakland, Carhartts.
You did that? I feel like, man, yo.
I didn't, but I'm just saying.
It's funny. I think I told you this before. I really like how particular you are about how you know what I'm saying, present yourself, you know? Like, starting off with your crown, your beanie. You know what I'm saying? Like the way you cuff it. Like I have a certain way I cuff it as well. But like I really, you know what I'm saying, I admire, you know what I'm saying, cats that really put that extra mile into it, you know? You got that, man. You got great style, bro.
Yeah, I feel like like presenting yourself. Like if you, I can walk into like a club or something, right? And I'll just literally just be standing on the wall in the corner, but eyes will be on me because they'll be like, "Why is this?" It's just the aura that you give off to people. Like,
exactly.
I had someone come up to me and just ask me, like, "Who are you?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Yo, my name is Jordan." He was like, "No, like you are somebody that's important. The way you just standing here and presenting yourself to the world." But I feel like, it's all in details. That's what I think about fashion. I can never be like a fashion designer, because I'm not into like drawing and shit. But I mean, people ask me, you should start styling.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, I can't tell someone how to dress like me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm very like you talk about the beanie. Like I can't tell someone how to wear the beanie like I wear it, because it's like a certain fold, the way I have it sit on top of my head, where it looks like it'll just fall off, but it's not.
How many hats you have?
Beanies or hats?
I guess
I mean, I have a shit ton. Well, I don't really have a lot of beanies. I just have like the main colors. You only basically need like black, blue, brown. I mean, I think I have a gray. I have a red.
I have all those.
I have like a dark green and orange. That's basically because you can mix those colors with anything.
Right.
And
man.
I have a shit ton of hats that I don't really like. I have a whole bunch of old fitteds from back in the early 2000s where niggas used to wear the throwback jerseys and shit. I don't even wear those anymore. But
yeah, I have a hat fetish for sure, man. And I think, but really I wanted to empower you with this, man. I think you can be a designer and I think you can be a stylist, but I think people like, myself and you, like we tend to go for the stylist thing because it seems like it's more complex and all the shit. But like what I've learned, bro, being able to like, cause like, bro, when I was working at Sura, I didn't really learn too much shit about fashion. You know what I'm saying? We would just print this is not a diss, not to, you know what I'm saying? We were just making shit on t-shirts, bro. And we put out a shoe. That was dope. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is like, when it comes to designing clothes, bro, you don't even have to pick up a needle. You feel me? It's really like your vision and like what you envision. Cause like you can go and get a sample and then have a manufacturer just make that shit.
Yeah.
And that's made by Jordan here in Oakland, California. And that's your brand. Just as simple as they made this whole t-shirt shit, like the Oaklandish and all that shit. Like, so you can do that with jeans, bro. Like there's so many platforms now. Like it's just like with the music shit, the AI. So with, for me too, sometimes I'm like back and forth because right now I actually want to put out beanies. I feel like it's only right. That shit has been in the back of my head. Like all my exes are like, put out a beanie. I'm like, I need to put out a beanie, bro. Because it is hard work, but you don't really have to pick up a needle. You know what I'm saying? And I think if that thought still exists, bro, you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I started to dabble into like hats and shit.
Yeah.
So
hats, jackets.
We'll see. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to thank you, and I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you, man.
It's been long overdue telling everyone about your life.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people will get motivation from this.
I hope so, man. I hope so. I think for me, if I could leave everybody with something, is things don't always go the way you want them to, bro. And as common as that sounds, bro, like, but it's really like, your perseverance and how much you can like just hang on to that shit, Because it's like, bro, like, I kid you not, I think maybe a year and a half ago, because I've been moving so much, bro. Like, I've been getting a different spot every year. But like, at one point I was like, yeah, bro, I got a few, you know what I'm saying? I got some bread. Let me just move, because I was like, I want a fresh start or this and that, which also is a good route. But, I kind of just hung in there, bro. And like, I've been getting some results that I really appreciate and didn't think I would be getting, you know what I'm saying? With everything that I'm doing with like, me being a father, you know what I'm saying? Me being an entrepreneur, me fucking with this artistry shit. Like, so really, bro, like, just keep on, you know what I mean? Like, keep hustling. I suck at consistency, but I keep trying and I don't give up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say consistency is the number one thing.
Bro, that shit
I suck at that shit too.
That shit is not easy, bro. I can wear my beanie the same way, but all the other shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I would say, man. And, and I think everybody has their pace, man. Like, I'm definitely like, I think at one point, man, I was in my head a lot about who I was as an individual in Oakland, just based off of what I do, right? And, you know, I really just had to like give into myself, you know, like I'm not looking at anybody's pockets or anybody's success. And it's hard to do that shit because every time you go on your phone, it's other people. So if you got to fast from that shit, fast from it. But, you know, the more you really like take yourself serious on any level, I think you will get results.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you definitely can't base your journey off of someone else's journey that you see on Instagram. Like there's podcasts that blew up overnight. And they're getting like fancy, they're getting Drake and they're getting all these other people to interview, and they only been podcasting for like 6 months. Yeah. And then there's some people who've been podcasting for 6 years and they haven't blew up yet. So it's all about your journey and not basing it off of what you see on Instagram, because that can discourage you like a motherfucker.
Definitely.
You'll be like, damn, how come I ain't hitting 1 million views yet?
Right.
It's just not your time yet.
But yo, man, also too, man, like I was checking out your page, bro. Like you've been doing this since 2019.
Yeah, this ain't about me. This no.
All right.
So do you have any well, tell the people where they can find you. You want to give out your socials, anything else you want to share?
Yo, I'm taking Cash App, Venmo. My Cash App is Kugonza. It means I love you.
Nigga, no one's gonna know how to spell that shit.
It's Kugonza. My Instagram is _STEEZE_. And yeah, man, definitely make sure to follow the page Afro Beats Oakland.
Any last words? Oh, no, those were the last words. Fuck it.
All right.
All right, well, thank you, Maham.
Thank you, man.
This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast, and we are out. You.